Hello, I'm Cindy Sharp, Director of Communications for the Texas Retired Teachers Association. Today we're talking with our Executive Director, Tim Lee. Tim, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Cindy.
Now, I'd like to give our members an update about what's been going on in the Texas Legislature. The session started on January the 13th, but we really haven't heard any big news coming out of the Capitol. Can you give us an idea about what's going on over there right now?
Yeah, well, not a whole lot has been happening. We've seen the legislators be seated. That was the first step. They've been sworn in. Our governor's now sworn in. Our lieutenant governor's now sworn in. The inauguration is over. And so things are starting to move a lot faster. A lot of talk about legislative agendas and what issues are going to kind of get to the top of priority lists. I did have one of our legislators talk to me this week and said that what we need to do is make sure that our voice is one of the ones that's heard early in session. And so we're over there meeting with legislators now, and I know our folks are making phone calls, sending letters. As a matter of fact, I've got a stack of letters right here. We're going to get these delivered. TRTA members continue to send these letters in. We're going to deliver them to legislators throughout session.
Great. We also sent out an inside line earlier this week, which our members can view on our website. And in it, we mentioned that TRTA has been working to get some legislation introduced. Give us some more insight into this, please.
Well, as you know, TRTA has a broad legislative agenda. We always want to protect what we've been able to achieve in previous legislative sessions, but what we also want to do is try to help our retirees when there are opportunities to help them. So we're going to work to introduce legislation for maybe a supplemental payment like we saw in 2007. We may have legislation that will help our retirees who did not get the pension increase last session. So we've got several items that we're trying to move forward legislatively this session.
We also mentioned in the same inside line that the Senate committee members have been named, but what we don't know yet is the House committee members. Why are we waiting to hear about those?
Well, on the House side, there are just a lot more people to be put on committees. There are 150 members in the House. There are only 31 in the Senate. There's not as much change every session in the Senate as there is in the House. And so there's a lot of work to get those pieces to fit right. More committees on the House side, the Senate side. So the good news is we have Senate committees. We expect to hear House committees this week, we hope. So we're going to wait and see how that turns out. But on the Senate side, we know that we have a Senate Finance Committee chaired by Jane Nelson, and that's vital for us on our budgeting side of TRS legislation. We also have our Senate State Affairs Committee, which is chaired by Joan Huffman, and that is typically the committee that all of our legislation goes through during a legislative session on the Senate side. And so we're going to follow those committees very closely.
Tim, thank you again for meeting with us
Cindy.
today. And thank you for joining us on TRTA TV. You can find a link to the latest Inside Line below, and be sure and stay tuned to all of our updates on TRTA TV. Thanks and have a wonderful day.